everyone, my name is Roya, and today I will be telling you what I plan to read for the Reading Rush. So the Reading Rush starts on, I don't actually remember the dates off the top of my head, so I will just leave them in the description down below, as well as Ariel's announcement video and all of that other stuff. So anyway, this readathon is basically the biggest one of the year. If you're not familiar with it, it used to be called Booktubeathon. If you're not a booktuber but you've been watching my videos for a long time, you probably remember me like posting all that Booktubeathon crap and all of that. But anyway, yeah, the same readathon. Last year was the first year that it was called the Reading Rush, and it's still called the Reading Rush again. It has all these fun challenges that change every year for kind of determining what you want to read, but for the most part it's all kind of optional. It's basically like the only rule is basically just to read as much as you personally want to / can or whatever. Like you don't have to do the challenges in order to participate. You can just do it and be participating anyway. There are no rules, and that's what I really like about this readathon, is that it really doesn't matter like what you read, if it even fits the challenges or not. But anyway, so some of the challenges I'm going to have to actually like pick later because I really don't know. I will have a better idea closer to that time, or even like the day of and all of that, like what I think will fit those challenges during that time. Like for instance, you know, there's the challenge of read a book that is you know, entirely outside of your house, and I think I'm just gonna circumvent doing that by just picking a book with like a really outdoorsy cover or something, but I really don't know what book that's gonna be. I think I'm just gonna pick that after I've already read the rest of the books I have here for that. And then also I do have, you know, the challenge of read the first book you touch. So basically the idea is to just pick some books you want to read, put them in a pile, and then just close your eyes and pick one. And for that, what I really want to use for this is basically just all the books that I've acquired so far this year that I'm like the most excited about. Of that pile, I don't really know how many of those books I'm going to have already wanted to read before the Reading Rush started, so I think I'm gonna wait on that challenge and pick one that day, like the first day that it starts or something like that. And so that'll just be part of my like, you know, daily vlog or whatever I decide to do this year of this. So I'm just gonna vlog that or something later. But anyway, here I have the rest of the books that I plan to read for the Reading Rush. So the first challenge is to read a book that has the color of your birthstone on the cover. So I was born in July, so my birthstone is the ruby, and so I decided to pick Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Ames, and this is a book that I am so excited to read. It just sounds so good, and I really am super stoked to get to it. And by the way, all of these books that I'm showing you here are also all chosen from the books that I just got this year. So I'm trying to like really only, you know, I'm really trying to get to as many of those as possible. So the next challenge is a book that has the word "the," that starts with the word "the" in the title, and I had a few of these that could work, but I figured that the one that would be best for a readathon, since for the most part I'm picking really thick books, is actually The Cold is in Her Bones by Petronelle Van Arsdale, and this is a nice short book to kind of read in between the two huge books that I have picked out. I don't really know what this is about, but it seems like it would be much better for a readathon than the other two books that also had "the" in the title that I could have picked from. And the next challenge is a book set on a continent that you are not living on. So for this, I decided to pick Black Leopard Red Wolf by Marlon James. I believe this is actually set in Africa, and it's a historical fantasy set in Africa, so I'm definitely very excited to get to this. And the last challenge is to read a book in the genre that you don't read, that you read the least, or that you're the most intimidated by, or whatever. And I don't feel like this challenge really applies to me because I have been reading books my whole life. I'm 32 years old. I've read a crap ton of every genre I could possibly think of. There is no genre that I have not read. I have read everything. So I do mostly read fantasy. That makes up the bulk of what I read, but I have read a ton of horror and nonfiction and just everything. Detective novels, especially. Before I was on BookTube and kind of bleeding into my time on BookTube, I read like mostly detective novels. So there is no genre that I feel like I've read the least or that I'm the most intimidated by. And personally, for a readathon anyway, who really wants to read a genre that they don't feel as good reading anyway? So I think that challenge just doesn't have a place in my personal like reading experience. So I'm just gonna ignore that one, which is kind of weird because to me, I love to do all the challenges. I'm like that type of person, but I can't think of anything for that challenge because there's no genre that I don't read, like that I've not read that a lot already. So anyway, these are the 3 books that I plan to read for the reading rush, and obviously I will be picking, 1 or 2 other ones to fit those other 2 first challenges that I mentioned at the beginning of that readathon or at the end once I've finished all of these. We will see what happens there, but to start with, I want to get to these 3 books anyway. So anyway, let me know what your thoughts are, what you plan to read for the reading rush. If you have a TBR video already, definitely feel free to link it below because I want to see like all the TBR videos for this. They're so much fun to watch, to see what types of stuff people come up with for the different challenges and all of that. And definitely if you've read any of these books, let me know what your thoughts are, and I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye!